Broadcast. Alright, I got my technological issues dealt with here, and continuing on from where I was in the last video, or last broad broadcast, where I said that I was going to run a little bit of a clip that I uploaded today to my Abraham Fan 29 channel. It's about trusting your hunches, and then I want to talk a little bit about my personal experiences with hunches and how it's part of what I think about quite a bit when I think about the law of attraction and talking to other people about it who may not be as familiar with it as I am. Anyway, here we go.
You're wanting to offer something more?
That's the only thing. Why am I, and I'm sure everybody else is doing the same thing, when we hear your words, we intellectually understand them, why don't we go do it? Why do I still, like when I was going on this trip to see relatives, I knew with the attitude that I was going with that I was going to attract something that wasn't that pleasurable, and yet I couldn't help it. I didn't want to do it.
Old habits die hard. That is perhaps the easiest way of expressing it to you. It is those habits of action or habits of thought are very well entrenched within you. And until you replace the habit with a new one, the old one is going to reign supreme, you see. We were watching Esther this morning. It was rather interesting. She has not been able to find her keys. One little ring that hooks to a bigger ring, but this is the important key, for it operates their motor coach. Her mate has his keys, but she could not find hers and has not been able to find them for about 10 days. This morning, as they were embarking upon this road trip, Esther really wanted to have them, for she's always more comfortable with the two sets with her. And so she said, I'm going to find those keys. And so she went into her closet and she emptied every purse she owns, hands in all of the little pockets, and they were not there. And then she went to her closet and reached into all of the pockets and found them not. And then she went to Jerry's closet and reached into all of his pockets and found them not. And then she said to her mate, I think we should go and have another set made, for I cannot find my keys. She got involved doing other things, and then her mate said, what are you going to wear as we travel? And Esther said, I don't know. And she went to the closet and pulled something from it that she does not like and does not wear and put it on. And when she reached into the pocket, there was the key. Now, she was delighted because she knows that her inspiration to act, in other words, she was inspired to put something on that she doesn't want to wear under these conditions. It is not dressy enough. It is something to work in. She was inspired to put it on, not because it was the thing to wear, but because the key was in the pocket, you see. Although intellectually she was not able to discern the difference. You see what we're saying? Inspiration to act, coming out of what?
So there we go. Esther, I always love it when Abraham comes out with the Esther and Jerry stories, so I like to choose with those ones the best when I'm uploading stuff, because I figure maybe other people enjoy that too. But so she was talking a little bit about directed action versus inspired action. And directed action was, I'm gonna find those keys, and here I go into the closet, emptying everything I own, looking in all the pockets I own, blah, 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 blah. Obviously, she didn't look in all the pockets. But then, she kind of gives up, and when she goes to do something else, the inspiration hits to grab a certain shirt or jacket or whatever it is, and that happens to have the key in it. So I've got some examples of that in my life where certainly things didn't really make sense, but they were certainly beneficial once I paid attention to them. And I've gotten now to where the noise in my thoughts and stuff isn't so regular and crazy that I can't hear those little things. So an example, I'm actually going to use an example that isn't mine, but it's somebody very close to me. We have a McDonald's across the street from our place, and they were for a while giving away free coffee. And you could go and we would take turns, go and get two coffee, extra large, bring them home, share them kind of thing. And then the other one of us would go down and get the coffee. And so one time, normally we just go and get two coffee, and you can hold the two coffee in your hands as you're walking back home. That's no problem. But at one time, my brother decided that he was going to not only get coffee, but he was also going to get other things, which means that he would do better to have a coffee tray so that he could carry both coffee and carry something else in his other hand. Well, he's leaving the apartment block, and this coffee tray is sitting there on the vent, on the heater vent or whatever. And normally, it's somebody's discarded it there. And normally we would either take it, throw it away, or put it into the recycling kind of thing, or just leave it there because, well, it's an apartment block. Lots of things get left around, and sometimes people come back for them. Blah blah blah. Right. So anyway, but this time he decided, for whatever reason, he got the instinct, that thing shone for him, so he decided, okay, well, I'm just gonna take it with me, because that's where I'm going to McDonald's anyway. Maybe I'll just, save them using a tray or whatever. So he goes in, takes this thing, and it happens that McDonald's is completely out of trays. And if he hadn't brought this thing, he wouldn't have been able to carry the two coffee and the extra food home easily. So it was like inspired action that really paid off. And I've had other things like that too, where I'm about to leave my house and I take a quick look around, and for some reason something basically glows. I don't know why. It just, a piece of paper or a pen or some object that's there, it just shines. It grabs my attention and I go, whoa, hello, what's going on there? And I've kind of learned that if I get those feelings, and it's for an object, that I should really pick up that object and carry it with me. Because I found that if I just go, oh wow, what's that? That's weird, okay, and walk away from it, which is what I used to do, then sometime during the day I come across something where it's like, man, if I had that object, then I would be able to use it right now, and it would be really convenient. So I've really found, even recently, I disregarded it. I was at a social function handing out business cards and stuff and trading business cards with people. And as I was, saying goodbye to people, I looked over and there was a table that I had been at that had one of my business cards on it. Now, I didn't think about it until I got home and started going through my business cards, and some of the cards that I had were missing. A key one was missing for something that I was going to go to the very next night to make, to further a contact. So I think that that's what that card was. That was the business card that had all the contact information on the back of it, and I saw it, and it glowed on that table for me as I quickly looked around the room, but I disregarded it till I got home and then went, duh. And now, of course, I don't have access to that business card. I didn't really call and see if they kept a copy of it or whatever, because they probably just threw it away. But anyway, so when it comes to law of attraction, the hunches thing is a really big part of what I've learned from the law of attraction, is to pay attention to my hunches and really listen to that little tiny voice that's saying, hey, pay attention to this, or that kind of thing, because it's those little tiny signals from within me that are leading me in the correct direction, or making things a lot more easy for me in ways that I can't even begin to understand. Because how can it make sense that something like that would glow, and then a couple hours later it would actually come into a point where you could actually make use of it? I don't really understand it logically, but I think that's the whole point. We've got this guidance system that we can't really logically understand, and when we try to apply logic over it instead of just trusting the base instinct that we have, that's when we get in trouble. So I would really love to hear your comments about how you've noticed your hunches ever since you started getting into the law of attraction. I'd love to hear stories about your hunches and stuff like that. If you leave a comment on this YouTube video, then next time I have a broadcast where I'm talking about some of the videos and stuff, I'll also be bringing up the comments that I had on this video. If you have questions or anything that you'd like me to say, I guess, I don't know, then just leave a message and I'll include that in my next broadcast. So this is Abraham Fan 29 from YouTube talking about law of attraction and how it has influenced my life in ways that maybe people don't think about on an everyday basis. Take care, and I'll see you in the next broadcast.